pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can't vote on it.
No.
Vote on
What?
Madam President, I would like to excuse.
Okay, hold on one
Nope.
second. Let's do
Gotta
roll
do roll
call
call
first.
Too quick.
Yeah. Okay, roll
Seth, I
call.
put you in charge of him and you're messing up.
Yeah, I know.
We talked.
Okay, roll call. Frazier,
Here.
Weiss,
Here.
Adi,
Here.
Elder, Liebode, Reese,
Here.
Sleek.
Yes. Here.
Okay, now Jim.
Okay. Madam President, I would like to excuse Mr. Leibold and Mr. Elder from tonight's meeting.
Second?
Okay, roll call.
Weiss,
Yes.
Adi,
Yes.
Reese,
Here.
yes. Sleek,
Yes.
Frazier.
Yes.
Okay. Council has a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, then they'll stand as they are. We also have a copy of tonight's agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda? Since there's only 5 council people here, we won't be doing any voting. It'll just be strictly readings.
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
the only thing I would ask council is I checked with Chris Leibold and Jim Melly that we don't need a simple majority to amend a resolution. If you remember at the last council, there's some verbiage that we didn't include that needs to be included in there.
In which one?
The
first one.
The first one.
Okay.
And so the only thing I would ask council, if you would, if a member of council would make a motion to include the phrase at the end of the second paragraph here, and if we do it tonight, then for the third reading, I can print off clean copies with the corrections, but it's just a phrase that says, attached here to as Exhibit 1, because Exhibit 1, this is a resolution approving the agreement, so the verbiage shows that what the attachment is the agreement. And then, and these are two real quick fixes, then under the agreement on page 2, under section 11, it says, governing law, and the statement reads, this agreement shall be governed by the laws of the state of Ohio, Sandusky County, and the part we're adding is, and the city of Fremont. We forgot to put on and the city of Fremont at the end of the phrase.
So do you want to give that to somebody to
Chris,
read?
Yeah, so the two parts are highlighted, Chris.
So I just need to read those?
Yeah. Make a
So,
motion to read those.
once you,
I make a motion to amend the first resolution.
I second it.
You gotta say what it is.
you gotta say that to
with-
include the phrase,
To include the phrase, attached here to,
Unto exhibit
onto exhibit
1.
1. And then, in addition, under section 11,
In the actual agreement.
in the actual agreement, thank you, and the city of Fremont.
I'm gonna say.
I second it.
roll call?
Adi,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Sleek,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Weiss.
Yes.
Okay.
Council, thank you. I'll get cleaned up copies and have them for you for the next council meeting for the third reading.
Okay. So you need to read that now?
Yep.
Okay.
Second reading of a resolution authorizing the mayor to sign and enter into an agreement with the Fremont Development Corporation to promote economic development within the city and declaring an emergency.
And that constitutes the second reading. Okay, next.
First reading of a resolution authorizing the approval and issuance of a warrant for payment of $3,900.00 to Abdu Home Builders and declaring an emergency.
And that constitutes the first reading of that. Next.
First reading of an ordinance to authorize the expenditure and direct the Safety Service Director to enter into a contract with MMB Asphalt Company Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $280,140.00 for the Fremont Community Center parking lot improvements and declaring an emergency.
Council, I'd like to talk about that one. This is, Monday, we opened the bids to redo the rec center parking lot and the entrance area there. We had 9 bids. It was, the engineer's estimate, I think, was something, 330 or something like that, so 340. So this is a really good bid, and what makes it even better is we had a grant for 265,000. So
Yeah, I saw that grant.
so originally we were thinking it was going to be maybe 330, 340 was the engineer's estimate. We had a grant of 265 that was going to cover it. The fact that the bid came in at 280 is really good for the city, that there's only 15,000 out of the city's budget toward that. But so we will be asking at the next meeting to suspend Rule 4 and vote on that so we can get them under contract. I think they're looking at being out there in July doing the parking lot.
And busy season at that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're hoping that it's not busy season because
For the pool, it will be.
the pool,
You
yeah.
got AAU events on the weekend too.
Unless you
That's
close the
true.
pool for.
It's good, it's great
three-
though.
Yeah, I think
It's a great issue.
these guys say they can probably do it in 5 days. So we're going to be out there early
I believe
Monday
that.
morning. So you're right, if there are events on the weekend, it should be hopefully not that horrible. And then we were putting a plan together to park on the grass and navigate all that stuff.
The long term's better anyways.
Well, that's our.
Mr. Gross, I wanted to know, did all the bids come in not to exceed, or was there any specific amounts, or they,
No, I mean,
I'm just curious because of doing those kind of biddings before. I was just wondering if that's how most
No,
of
I
them
think
came
the
in.
highest bid was maybe 358. The
Okay.
lowest bid was
So it's
280.
relatively close.
Yeah, we, just off the top of my head, I think the lowest was 280, the next lowest was 290 and some change. We had a lot of low 300s, and then, so then we had, I think we had a gap, and then the high bid was 358.
Okay. Well, that's what I said, it's pretty reasonable, especially with the grant money.
Yeah, with that grant money, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's the end of our readings, and I'm gonna move on, and Bob, do you have any other comments you wanna make this evening?
Just a couple quick ones. So remember, next Thursday is the ribbon cutting. If anybody, thought I printed off some flyer. Oh, I know each one of you got an invitation, but if you lost it, I have copies here if you need one. So that you're going to see a lot of cleaning done at the amphitheater. Lathrop is coming back. They're going to be here tomorrow and Monday, power washing a lot of the concrete. We haven't mowed it yet because we're trying to let the sod take before we run over it, but I think we're going to mow it tomorrow at a high level and then come back and mow it. So you're going to see a lot of activity, but it's all preparation and cleaning, power washing, cleaning the restrooms, touch-up paint, fixing a few things here and there. Because you got to remember, this is a $3 million amphitheater, and there are going to be people at that event that wrote $50,000 and $100,000 checks to build that thing. And, and those are the big ones. I mean, there are still people that wrote $10,000 and $20,000 checks. And so it's going to be a good time. There's going to be speeches and, some food and whatnot. But, all of us, I think, are going to look at it under a little bit of an eye of inspection. And so we're going to, cleaning up the back room. And that's what we've tried to communicate. We did a walkthrough there at 1 o'clock with a checklist, like, no, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work. So there's a couple things that got to be fixed, but so you'll see that activity. There's a tent going up Wednesday afternoon, a couple of 16 by 16 tents. I think we're going to see a flood of politicians there, and so it should be a great event. So I wanted to put that on your radar. That's next Thursday. Krogan Street, they're about another 2 weeks, and they'll be done with I think they got the sewer line in, and they're doing the water line, or vice versa, the sewer's in. So they are looking at starting asphalt. I hate to put a specific date out there, so don't hold me to this date. Probably, I wish we could turn the camera off. But what we have been talking to the asphalt companies is we are at least going to try to get through the bank, we're trying to be conscious of the banking areas, Krogan and Credit Union, Huntington there. And so we're going to try to get that section up to Arch Street done before June 15th. So we're going to be, which is a Saturday, so the week leading up to June 15th, we're at least going to try to get the asphalt laid in that area, and then, work our way up the hill to the tracks. And so, so you ought to start seeing asphalt out there probably second week of June. Looking to have most of that asphalt done by 4th of July, June 30th range.
Is M&B doing that?
Boy, that's a good question. I don't know.
They did such a great job on Park Avenue, that's why I wondered.
They did.
You know,
They
they
did. That
did
Park
it.
Avenue is really nice.
Yeah, it is.
And then to let you know, I had this conversation with Councilman Leibold. As you know, as we sit here all sweating because our AC went down, we have had issues with the building. The light underneath above the judges thing, the ballast went out today in the middle of court. And so, fire department's in here. We had some electrical surges, which cut out our AC, the elevator's down. There's duct tape on the carpet. We're working on kind of doing a few improvements, but what we decided to do, and I say we, it was really kind of, Mayor Sanchez, it was all the elected officials in the building, Judge Bradinsky, Mayor Sanchez, Paul Grawl, Jim Melly. We met to just talk about, because there's, those elected officials have staff working in this building. So tomorrow, an RFP, a request for proposal, goes out for a feasibility study. There are companies, property management groups, that will come in and assess the building, and assess your building, and then talk to your staff, and just kind of do an overall assessment on the functionality, the condition, the maintenance of this building, and then maybe make recommendations. We have spent a lot of money the last several years, last 4 years, if you remember. We put a new roof on this building, we tuck pointed this building, new HVAC, and now a new elevator, and all those total up to several $100,000, and here we sit still sweating with no lights. So, and so we're really kind of taking that deep dive look at trying to spruce up City Hall, and not to spruce it up, to spruce it up, but more importantly, the employees here deserve a decent workspace to work out of. And but I just wanted to pass that along. You may hear rumblings about, this, I don't know, the rumor mills go crazy. We're just looking. We're just getting a company to come in and assess this building and the needs and the issues and make recommendations to us. But there is no eminent plan for anything major anytime soon. Could it go that way someday? Sure, but there's no eminent plans. And so the only reason I bring that to your attention is we've kind of told employees here at City Hall that study is being done, so you may get interviewed, or people may be coming in to look at your workspace. You may hear rumblings of stuff, and I don't know, you just want to get the accurate message out. We're not building a new City Hall. I don't know what we're doing, honestly. We're just getting a study done to see what we should do. But
Hopefully get working AC, right?
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Before-
Well, right, and the
Before-
feasibility study includes the police department, fire department on Central. These buildings were built at the same time, so guess what's happened? We have the same issues. It's roof, tuck pointing, HVAC, and
What year
so
was that?
78.
Yeah,
I think they started in 78 and finished in 79.
yeah. Albrecht was the first judge down here, I'm pretty sure. My mom worked for him, and they came down here from up.
And we've done some research, like Bowling Green just did a new municipal building, and they got some grant money, so, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but I think we got to start thinking about the long-term viability of this building. And
Bowling Green's bigger, but what was their total?
do you really want to know? 14 million.
I figured.
Oh.
So
Well,
they,
you're taking an existing structure and remodeling.
well, here's what Bowling Green did, is right off of Main Street, off Wooster, they were in a small, old schoolhouse. About probably smaller footprint than this, and their police headquarters and different things were in there. But just around the block, there was a giant library, kind of a big stone building. That library built a new one, went new, that building became available. And so the city of Bowling Green bought that building because they had looked for a long time. They wanted to stay central to Bowling Green, central to downtown, and just could never find the right land. They had searched for 10, 15 years. This has been a long project. Found this building, and then got with some architects and design groups, bought this building, and then just built a complete new, and so they added a lot to it. And it's, it's a big, beautiful building. I've not been in it physically, but I've seen YouTube videos and tours of it. And I hate to say this, I'm just going to encourage you to go Google it, but that was a $14 million build that they issued bonds and are financing it for 30 years. I'm not saying we're doing that. I don't know what we're doing. But I don't know if, I don't know, if we're growing out of this place, if we need to expand this place. We're just, I mean, to some extent, you guys, I don't know about you guys, I'm probably getting long-winded here, I apologize, but I watch other city councils, Finley's, Oregon's, Tiffin's. The one thing that stands out to me is they all have their own council chambers.
Yeah.
And Bellevue, and so, in my opinion, I think you guys deserve your own council chambers. So, but I'd like to not give you that council chamber till Jim Sleek retires.
There you go, Grossy.
Bye-bye.
There you go.
So, I just give you that heads up so you're informed that that RFP comes out tomorrow and if over the next few weeks or months. And then when that I think our thought is to get a company on board over the next month, spend the rest of the next, feasibility studies on assessments like this, maybe take 4 months. So you're looking at getting a report back October, November range. And then we just got to go into some brainstorming mode and, we'll give you copies of that report and, long term.
Well,
I was,
you've all done a great job on government grants, so I'm sure you can get something
Yeah.
there too.
You know what, I was thinking also when I said, when was this built? Because buildings usually have a lifespan. Isn't it, from what happened with the
50 years.
schools, from what happened with the schools, the new ones that they built, I asked them, how long is that building gonna last? And I think it was somewhere like about 65 years, the new schools. So let's go back and say, this was built, you said 78?
78, so you're approaching 50 years.
Yeah, so it's about time
That's
to
the life
do something.
expectancy of new schools.
And I bet this is the
50
same
years.
wallpaper that was here in 78.
I bet you're probably right.
So, and then lastly, the land bank has started tearing buildings down around town. It started this week. They tore 2 houses down on Garfield Street. I think next week they're going to be over the house on Sandusky Avenue that's on the list. So I think there are approximately 10 residential homes inside the city limits of Fremont. There are a couple homes that are technically in the township just outside. So I think in the grant in total, I think there are 18, 19 homes in and around the county, 10 of which are specifically inside the city of Fremont, another 4 or 5 that have Fremont addresses. So, a lot of homes that are behind in property taxes and, and slum and blight and left abandoned. So that's, those are going to get utilized. So that's it. I'm done.
Okay, I have one question about the amphitheater. I've had seniors from the Fort Stevenson inquire as to shade. Will there be shade? Will there be anything to keep the sun? They're concerned because they say they have thin skin and they don't want to be burnt. That's why they are opposed to them being at the amphitheater.
We, no, but we're trying to address it. So
Okay.
being that this, so it's funny, we don't know what we don't know because we've never ran an amphitheater before. So we kind of come to the conclusion like, and we knew this one, there's something we're going to overlook, and not that we meant to overlook it. And,
Right.
and so we've already, even when we did the walk through today, boy, we might need to think about planting trees here. We might need to, we got those pillars outside the restrooms and the pavers, we were already looking at, maybe we need to apply for a grant to get some shade structure over those pillars.
Maybe
What
doing
are
like
those
those.
triangle tarps?
That's
Well,
Yeah, I was
so-
gonna say
so
the baseball
the
down
popular
around the yard
thing-
that they have over the dugouts.
So, ironically, that may very well happen later this year, because we were out there today and we're like, all that needs is, like my neighbor across the street has those, he attached some eye bolts to his house and garage, and so you can buy them in almost any shape, a
Yeah.
square, a triangle, and different sizes, and so probably the more immediate quick fix that doesn't quite look out of place is if we could, anchor some eye bolts into those columns, and then, purchase some of those tights to provide some shade, but, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Chris, do you have anything to say, Christine?
I do not, that did not cross my mind.
Benny?
I was just gonna bring up this Saturday at the cemetery on the end of South Plain Street, we'll be planting the annual garden around the flagpole. And thank you Universal Farms and Lowe's for your donation. And that's all I have to say. 8:30 Saturday morning.
I just want to let council know that tonight's probably going to be my last council meeting for a while. I have to go get a total knee replacement June 6th. So,
boy.
say prayer for me, I don't like needles. and
Oh,
stuff,
that's nothing
and I-
compared to the after.
Yeah, I know, but, they said, 6 to 8 weeks,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Mhm.
Good
Well,
luck to
good
you.
luck with
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Angie?
Yes, I'd like to remind everybody that President Biden has proclaimed this week as Peace Officers Memorial Day and Police Officers Week. The day is May 15th, and the week is from now to, I think it's the 21st next Tuesday. Anyhow, every day police officers pin on their shields and walk out the door, rushing into harm's way to keep the rest of us safe. Being a police officer is more than what they do, it is who they are. On Peace Officers Memorial Day and during Police Week, we recognize the incredible courage of our nation's police officers. In honor of fallen heroes, whose ultimate sacrifice we can never repay. We also thank the families who have stood by them. And we'd like to express, when I say we, I see Mayor Danny Sanchez, City Council, Fremont City Council, and all of the administration. We wish to say that we support police officers that we have here at the Fremont City Police Department. They do a wonderful job, great people. They're helping you, whether you get locked out or your dog ran away, something, they're always there to help us. We should just forget about those people that come in here trying to, with their extremist acts that they have been doing lately, just forget about them. We are holding our own here, we're supporting our police officers full-time, all the time. And, I wish I had brought my little speech.
You can do it next time.
I'll do it again, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Jim Sleek?
I have nothing.
Seth Frazier?
Nothing.
Okay. I would ask somebody to make a motion.
I move to adjourn.
I
I
second.
second.
Okay. Roll call?
Reese,
Yes.
Sleek,
Yes.
Frazier,
Yes.
Reese,